So this year, hi, Marion. This year is our first year not having Will to kick it off. And so, as you know, in the previous years, Will Tallheimer would start with lots of music and fanfare. The problem is, I don't know how to do that. So, and Will is traveling and Clark is in India for our kickoff. So you are unfortunately stuck with me right now for this without the fanfare and the music. But hopefully you'll forgive us for that. You can turn up at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning CET or midnight EDT if you want fanfare. But we'll kick it off now without any of that. And I'd like to welcome a refund. Thanks, Mike. So I'd like to welcome you all to our third annual LDC conference. And I wanted to note that this year, while we have, because of our format, fewer members, we have more countries represented than either of the previous years. So not only do we have a large Australia contingent again, but this year we have Turkey, we have several countries in South America, North America, of course. We have Denmark. We have, Hari, where are you from again?
Indonesia.
We have Indonesia. We have India. We have China. So we are covering the globe for the conference. And so I hope you'll take the opportunity to reach out and make some new contacts as you go through it. The conference this year is a little bit different. So I'm not sure if you watched the video that Clark and I made. It was a bit silly, but the intent of this conference is to go deeper than what we've done in the past. Last year, we had 80 synchronous 1-hour workshops. And each of those workshops were different topics. And while we really enjoyed the breadth of topics, we wanted to actually go the other way and shrink the scope, but go deeper, do a deeper dive into the programming to allow you the opportunity to try things out, spend time with the faculty if you wanted to, be able to work on projects and get feedback on those, and so forth. And so we decided to loosen up the structure, be a little less agenda driven, but create 10 to 12 different workshops that would really have good learning objectives and be able to enable you to transfer what you're learning back into the workflow. And so that's what we've created. We've also created 2 basic tracks. Let me rephrase that. 1 basic track for those who are a little more inexperienced, a little bit newer to the field, and we've labeled those. But that doesn't mean that if you are interested in it and have been in the field for 20 years, you can't go into it. All it means is that you probably don't need any prerequisites to go deeply into the topic area. Alternatively, we have programs that are labeled more advanced. These are for folks who have been in the industry a bit longer and want to do a deeper dive into topics that might be a little more challenging for you. Some of the basic courses cover evaluation, facilitation, the basics of design, how people are motivated and learn. And then on the advanced side, we go into AI. We go into complex learning, dealing with politics and managing stakeholder relationships. We look at how to continue doing work outside of the classroom. In other words, what goes beyond the course. And so we cover a multitude of different topics. So that's what we're going to cover. And we're also going to schedule, but haven't done so yet because we wanted to see where all of you are from, a bunch of different networking events. So we will be putting those on the calendar, and we'll be circling where the majority of people are located to make sure that the majority of folks have the ability to attend those. So let me just stop here. As I mentioned, we're pretty informal at LDA. So if you have any questions right off the bat, let me just see if you do. All right, then obviously, if you're here, you all got into our conference platform. So is there anyone that's struggling with the conference platform? If so, let me introduce our team members who can help you. So say hi, Esther.
Hi, everyone.
So this is Esther. Esther joined our team to help out with the conference, and she is the one along with Elisa. Say hi, Elisa.
Hi, everyone.
Elisa and Esther are here to support you in any way possible. So if Clark and I are not available or Will's not around, you can constantly reach out to any of those people, to either of them, to get help in any way. They are listed on the emails that we've been sending out to you, as are Clark and I. So no one seems to have had trouble with Circle, so I thought I'd share with you how to access Circle once you're inside it to do what you need to do. So let me just go to it. And let me make sure video is optimized. All right, so does everyone see my screen right now? All right, good. So this is the home page for the conference. Now, what you'll see as we go through the conference, we're going to change this welcome to LDC, and this is where we will put announcements. So anytime there's something new, it'll be here for you. One of the nice things here is you can see the membership. And if you want to, you can click on the See All button, and you can find out, you can sort by location, their headline, meaning L&D practitioner and journeyer, for example, for Andrew, you can sort by that. But here's the cool part, you can have private conversations. So if I want to send Andrew a message, I just click on it and I type whatever I want to say and send it to him. And Andrew will receive notification that I did so. And then it's easy to just go back and forth. So this is pretty cool. As long as our attendees have made themselves public to the other attendees, then you'll see everybody. Now, one thing I would urge you to do is to do what Eric has done. Eric put his smiling face on the screen. I would ask that we all share photos if we're willing. So you can go in and actually change your whole profile picture to do that. And the way you do that's really simple. Just click on your icon at the end on the top right, and you can just click on My Profile, and you can go in and see what you have stated. You can see how many posts you've made, what comments you've made, how many spaces you're in. You can edit your profile, and this is where you would upload that picture. So here you see the upload photo. You can change how your name works. You can write a headline for yourself, your bio, and so forth. So I'd urge you, if you haven't already done this, to go in here and put up as much information as you're willing, and then be sure to hit save as you go through it. What's nice, though, is when you're in your profile, you can look at all these different technical factors and be able to work through them. And you can always click the back to community to get right back to the main page. On the left side here, this is the conference. So the conference is set up right until you get to LDA resources, and I'll explain what's there in a second. These are, other than the Ruth Clark to Tiagi part, those are all our workshops, but we have two additional options in the conference. One is a forum, and we don't have a lot in the forum right now, but this is where you can actually go in and create a post and start a conversation. So if Mike has a thought, or he wants to get people's opinion about something, or he was taking Will's workshop on evaluation and he had a thought that cascaded beyond the workshop, he can post it here. We'll all be able to see it and so forth. And we can have threaded discussions throughout. And so please feel free to do anything you want in the forum, L&D related. So nothing about cooking or something like that. And then,
Matt,
yeah, Hari.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Actually, I've been looking for the button to post a message on the forum, but I could not find it. Do you think you can show me how to do it?
Yeah, I think I know exactly how to do it, but I have to fix it. So Hari keeps discovering bugs. And so Hari, I'm going to fix it. But when we hang up, there should be a plus button here to add a post.
Okay.
And what Elisa and I have to do is go in and make sure that you all have the rights to add posts. So in fact, Elisa, if you don't mind looking into it and making that so, we just have to give you all the right to do that. So and we'll do that right now, but it'll be right here. But good catch and thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. This synchronous session panel is going to be the most useful thing, I think, for everybody, because you'll be able to go through and see a calendar at a glance of what's coming up. Now, as you can see in the kickoff, we have 27 people signed up for today's session. We have only 6 who are going to make me get up at 6 in the morning tomorrow. Carl, we have 11 people signed up for it. And you can see I'm going to all of them. So for Carl's course, for example, if you're going to attend Carl's course, you'll want to make sure you click on all of these. And if you haven't done that already, it'll say RSVP. That means you're going to reply, please. So you click on it, and then you can directly add to your calendar, or if you just hit done, it'll send it to your email, and you could do it the more traditional way. But it's basically a calendar invite. And this will enable you to have the time in your proper time zone, as well as make sure that it gets on your calendar with the Zoom link. Once you hit done, you're done. But like I said, you can directly add it to your calendar, or you can just hit done and you'll get the email. You'll get the email regardless. You'll want to make sure, though, if you're going to Carl's class, that you scroll down and you add session 2 and session 3 and so forth. So make sure for all of the sessions of the course that you're adding all the ones you want to add. Now, how do you know what you want to add? Well, make sure you look at Carl's course. And Carl's course is beyond the course. And each of these describe what he's doing. Now, he doesn't actually have a lot here describing the specific sessions, but you'll see the time and the date and so forth. And the Zoom link is in here as well. So you can always add to that. Pardon me. Now, some courses, like my motivation course, are all asynchronous. So this course, you're going to go to what's called Blinkit. For those of you who attended the conference last year, you're probably familiar with it. But if you haven't attended the conference before, Blinkit is our asynchronous conference platform. And what you'll do is you'll have a link in here, and the link will be right up under basic, course basic. And we won't put that link in until we're done with these 2 kickoff sessions. So the first thing tomorrow morning, Europe time, CET time, you'll find these links live for any of the asynchronous components. You simply click that link and it'll take you to Blinkit. Now I got to stop sharing and show you a different screen. So let me just do that. So you go to Blinkit, and Blinkit will open up and you'll see the course that you are going to take. So here's all the courses that I'm signed in for. Now, why? These are all the courses I've clicked links to. So if you only click to one course's link, you'll only see one course. If you've clicked to 4 courses links, you'll see 4 courses links. You only need to log in once. If you're brand new to Blinkit, you'll have to create a Blinkit account. It's a one-time deal. You never have to do it again. So Gonza, you'll just have to give your email address once. This connects Blinkit to your preferences on Circle, and it gives you the access. So we're going into the motivation class. Here it is. And this is what it looks like. Now, every class is very simple. All the workshops in Blinkit are simply laid out. Each module is simply called a chapter. And each chapter, if you click on it, opens up with activities and content. So if you click on an opening, here is the opening to the workshop. You'll have a video, some text instructions, and then you can read comments from yourself or people or the instructor. Then you can just simply hit next, go to the next one, and here's an activity and so forth that I apparently blocked notifications about. And you click next and go to the next one and so forth. It's that simple. I apologize. I've been talking all day and I'm dying. But if I die, Esther will take over. So that's how that works. Any questions? Someone ask a question so I can die.
Matt, I don't know if I misunderstood, but I want to make sure under the like if I look at Carl Capps, he's got 3 sessions. Are they all the same or are they different?
They are all different.
Okay. Oh, they
Only-
are. Ooh,
Yes.
okay.
Only one course has repeats, and that's Kat Coppett's session.
Yeah.
Because Kat said, I can't only do it once, I need to do it a ton of times.
Okay.
She's offering every session twice to cover the time zones. Now, Carl, however, let's say you can't go, Deb. Carl said, if we have enough people who can't go to one, then he'll change the time. But if it's just you who can't make it, he'll meet with you one-on-one or a couple people and do a side session for you. Or if your
Okay.
time zone is very different than where Carl is, Carl's happy to meet with you one-on-one as well.
Now, that's good to know. I would made the incorrect assumption that the sessions were all the same, and I didn't go and look any deeper. So I
To be
will.
fair, Deb, I need to cop to this. When we read it, because we're so ingrained in it, we're like, of course it's obvious. And it's not obvious. So you didn't make a bad assumption. We made a bad assumption.
I'll go back. Thanks.
So definitely not you. So that's a great question. I also see another question from several people who are having trouble getting things onto their calendar from Blinkit to Outlook. Is it only Outlook that's the problem, or are people having issues for other calendars?
I don't think it's Blinkit, Matt. It's the other
I
one.
mean,
Circle.
Circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it only with Outlook? Okay, so no one is having a problem outside of Outlook.
Maybe just a quick one there, Matt. So I had the same issue, but once you actually register for the sessions and you get the email and you open the invite from there, then it actually does transfer to your Outlook calendar.
Okay.
I didn't get an email when I registered. Well, I shouldn't say I don't know if I did it correctly, but I said I RSVP that I was going, and I didn't get anything. Was I supposed to get an email, or is there another step that I'm missing?
Well, you should get an email once you say I'm going, and then
No.
you hit done. You should make sure you hit done. You should get an email, and I'd urge you to check spam because Circle's weird.
Yeah, I'll check.
And
Also on
if you're not getting it in spam, let us know and we'll work to solve the problem immediately.
and if you're on the Mac, it's triggering a ICS file download. So it should be a download.ics, which is generically writes the file name. If you double click on that in Finder, again, if you're on Mac, which is what I'm using, it then should open up your calendar of default and then create the event within it. So it may not do it
I just
automatically.
registered for a live session and clicked done, and I did not receive an email. It's also not in my spam.
Okay, we'll give it a few seconds and let us know. But this would definitely be a problem we need to solve.
I have already given it like at least 30 seconds. So,
Okay, all right, 30 more.
okay.
So, but yeah, these are the types of things where please reach out to Elisa. Probably Elisa would be the right person to reach out to for this one. Because Esther and I are just going to say, Elisa, what do you do? So this is probably a good one to shoot over to Elisa if you're not getting that. But she's amazing and she'll figure that out quickly.
Yeah, I just found them all. They're in my spam. We're good. We're good.
All right. Now, someone also asked, are the sessions recorded? Esther put in the comments, they are all recorded. They will be recorded. And Elisa does all of the recordings. So Elisa, how quickly does it take you to turn them around? She's like, I better have time. You good?
I may take like 2 days or one
So-
day.
All sessions, because there's a lot of sessions that we're doing, we're going to give her no more than 2 days. If she doesn't have it up in 2 days, we can yell at her. But all sessions will be up and posted. Now, where are they going to be posted? In that conference page. So let me go back and show you. So we go back in here. So let's say we're back in Carl's class. And Carl's first session is tomorrow. So let's say you couldn't make it, but you really want to be there. His session will be posted right. Oops, I went too far. His session will be right here with the video. So it'll be added right in. So it'll say session 1 video, and there'll be a graphic you'll be able to see it. It'll be very clearly highlighted. So all videos will be published right there where they're at. Does that sound good? And all the workshops have different places where they're running comments. So Miriam and I are working on a course together with Paul Kirshner. Our course, we built all the comments into Blinkit because we have activities around that. But others are using the comments in either Blinkit, or they might ask you to do the comments here in Circle in the forum. So everyone's approaching it a little bit differently from a faculty standpoint, but you can always do your own general comments here in the forum if you want. Okay. And again, we're going to fix that add button thing. So that's all about the courses and everything. What I do, hey, go ahead, Mark.
All right, just real quick to confirm. So say, take Carl's example, Carl's course, I can maybe attend tomorrow, but I can't attend his second session. You said, so it sounds like the recording is an option, but also perhaps he would consider scheduling something separate. Do I reach out? Do I reach out to Esther? Who do I reach out to say, hey, I can't make session 2, but I'd be really interested in seeing if we can reschedule?
You can reach out to me or Esther,
Okay.
and we'll help coordinate that because
Yep.
all of our faculty are traveling. And so we have a direct line to them, and we can help make that happen.
And you would know consolidating if there's a few people who couldn't make
Correct.
a session, whether we can all
Correct.
join in. Okay.
If that's the case, we're going to organize stuff for you
Yeah.
to make sure you're taken care of.
That is fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, so it's a great question. And I wanna do my one caveat because I don't want anyone yelling at us later, but we're gonna do our best. And we actually didn't have some of the faculty join us this year because they weren't able to say that they would help out to adjust to these things and be flexible. So we're gonna do our best, but given that we're on 6 continents, it just may be impossible sometimes. So we'll do everything we can. The faculty are doing everything they can, but we can't guarantee it. But we'll do our best, and we'll have a workaround. Worst case scenario, we'll make you sit down with Clark Quinn to talk about the topic. So Clark would pipe in right about now and say, "Why are you punishing them?" So that's that. Now, one other thing I do want to highlight here is all the courses are uniquely designed. So Stella's course is all in Blinkit. She has put together a really in-depth asynchronous program. And again, we'll put the link in tomorrow morning after we do the second kickoff. So if you go into this, you go through the entire course in an asynchronous way. The same is true for my motivation course. The only difference is I'm going to schedule some office hours so that we can do some Q&A sessions for folks. So we'll do some Q&A opportunities, but it's all asynchronous for the course. Alternatively, Will is doing all live sessions with a little bit of asynchronous support. So resources will be available asynchronously. Nigel is doing all synchronous sessions. So is Ruth. Ruth is all synchronous, but Ruth is actually going to give you homework. So Ruth has built in homework that she's going to give you feedback on. And she's actually going to hold attendance as a requirement. So if you can't make it, talk to us and we'll work something through. So each course is unique. And each course will have different levels of commitment and requirement because each topic is going to have different types of learning objectives. Bye, Miriam. Thank you for coming. By the way, Miriam's course is amazing, all due to her. So check it out, Complex Learning.
It's Matt's course as well, guys. I need to drop now. See ya.
Bye, Miriam. So every course is unique, so check that out. If you have questions about the courses, check in with either me or Esther, and we'll plug you right in with a faculty member if it's something we can't answer. Now, last thing before we jump into our activity. See this part about LDA resources and links? Well, this is a total mistake. So we totally forgot to turn this off when we were doing it. But we have all of the LDA member behind the member firewall stuff posted in here. And so if you're a member, you have access to this stuff already. You just may not have known it yet, especially if you're a brand new member. But for example, we have a whole bunch of general videos, people we've talked to over the last year and stuff, book club meetings and things like that. So there's a bunch of general videos that are available to you. We also run a series called You Ought to Know, and we're adding up the most recent ones. I think we're up to about 40 or 42 You Ought to Know videos. It's almost like a TV show you can watch with the who's who of L&D. So you can see we've had Richard Mayer, Jane Bozarth, Megan Torrance, we had Christy Tucker, David Kelly. So we've had a ton of folks in the industry, and it's basically an informal conversation with these folks about one specific topic. Tiagi's been running in Interactive Fridays on different topics, and so these are here as well. And then this is more of an archived program, but in our first LDA year, Will ran an entire year of learning insights, one a week. And so we have a ton of these here as well. I think they were every 2 weeks, actually. I think it was every 2 weeks or every week. But they're all posted here and you can see them going through the year. So this is all available to you. We're going to just leave it up and Elise is going to add in the previous content. So finally, you'll see that in each section, there are pinned posts which enable you to navigate just better within the section. So if it's a really long page, you'll be able to navigate well. So let me just stop to see if you have any questions about Circle. We really wanted to, we had great platform last year, but people kept getting lost in it. It was a little bit cumbersome and we had so much stuff that people had trouble finding everything. So we really wanted to streamline to just the essential stuff. So hopefully you're okay with the simplicity of it all. All right, thumbs up if you're happy, thumbs down if you're not.
Matt, is there an app that you'd recommend using as well, or would you recommend just keeping it on like a laptop or more of a desktop setting?
So I've been on the Circle app all day today, and to be
Okay.
honest, I'm not happy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd recommend doing it on a tablet or doing it on a browser. The
Okay.
app itself is not so good.
Okay. Thank you.
So do it on a browser. It works really well on a browser on a phone. My iPhone works really well with the browser, but I don't like the app. So, any other questions? All right, give me 1 second as we do this, because it's been a while since I've done this. I want to do breakout rooms. Where are they? Where'd they go? Ah, here we go. Because I want to learn a bit more about you and what you want to do as we go through this. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to send you into 4 rooms. Andrew, you're going to be the leader for group 1, okay? Do you mind? Oh my gosh, you say breakout room and people leave. So Andrew, don't leave. You're in charge of group 1, okay? Dawn, will you be in charge of group 2? I'm assuming she nodded. Claire, will you take care of group 3? And Julie, will you take care of group 4? Here's how it's going to work. Let me share my screen and I'll show you the slide. All right. So each group is going to have a question that I'd like you to deal with. So if you are in group 1, I would like you to focus on the question of who you are. So who are the 5 or 6 of you? Where do you come from? What do you do for a living in L&D? If you want to share something about yourself, all great. So who are you? So that's your team, Andrew. Group 2, what are your challenges currently in the L&D field that you're facing? What are some of the issues you're dealing with? Group 3, I want you to discuss your objectives for LDC 2022. What do you want to get out of this? In group 4, you hopefully have perused some of the courses. What are you most interested so far? What intrigues you? Why? What courses are you already signed up for? Okay. And I want you to introduce yourselves to each other and use this question as a focal point for the conversation. And finally, I want your leader to help identify someone on your team to share your discussion back with the big room when we come back. Sound good? All right. Now to do this, I'm going to give you a total of 10 minutes to talk. This should give you enough time and we will get going. All right. Any questions before I send you on your way? All right, here you go. And unceremoniously brought back. This almost feels like it's back to 2020 again. It's so retro. So,
We were chatting.
and yeah, you were having a good chat.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, we were chatting too, and what we were saying is it was so good to see Lene and Rick and Mike and Dawn and Heather, because these are folks who were with us from the very first conference and several others. And to now meet several new people like Karina and Gonza and Peter, and to have this new mix of people, it just really makes us happy to be with all of you. And to see that Rick keeps getting whacked in the face with a tail is also quite amusing. So anyway, we're delighted to see all of you. But we only asked a few of you, a quarter of you, who you are. But who are you? So from group 1, Andrew, what did your team come up with?
Okay, I'm gonna do my best to represent the rich tapestry of group 1. They gave me their vote of confidence, which maybe misplaced, but I'll do my best. And it was nice to see. Okay, baby, why don't you go sit over here? Sorry, I got a cameo appearance right here.
We
Wanna
love
sit?
it. Children are always
much,
welcome.
she's much more dynamic than I am. So you probably want her to present this. But anyways, so our group comes from a wide variety of locations. One New Jersey, Netherlands, Denver, Edmonton, Alberta. So very exciting. And then a combination of instructional design experience in various industries and academic settings, online learning companies. And it was just a real pleasure to get to know everybody and kind of have a mix of everybody has the L&D background, but also we have several who are in management roles. So it's kind of interesting to hear their perspectives about kind of some of the things they're working with, with their staff as well, while also bringing that L&D lens to it as well. So it was very interesting to get to see everybody, and definitely looking forward to learning more about everybody and joining everybody in these weeks.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, here's how we do this, because I still want to know who the rest of you are. And because we have a special recording system, if you all unmute yourselves and all say who you are, your name, where you're from, and your role, and you do it all simultaneously, when we listen to the recording, we'll be able to hear it. So can you all unmute yourself? Okay, good. Now, everybody, count of 3, tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do. Go. Oh, 1, 2, 3, go.
I'm Deb
Critter.
Critter. I
California.
live
Originally from Belgium, located in the
China.
Netherlands.
Learning designer for a
Civil
company
engineering,
name called Barry
engineering,
Dunn.
Essentially
Military.
leading
internal and
about
external
14 L&D professionals to make sure that we put exciting and new initiatives out there for our people in the business.
Wow, that was amazing. That was amazing.
That was
By the way,
chaos.
it was chaos, but I mean, I heard all about Rick's role at Tier 1. So you'll be able to sift through it. Trust me, it'll work. All right. Who was in group 2? I think
So
that was Dawn.
I want to acknowledge that we spent most of our time on introductions, which was absolutely wonderful because what a great group of people. And so I have asked, Shelley had volunteered. We didn't get all the way around for people focusing on what are the challenges we're currently facing in our field, but Shelley's going to report those for all of us.
Cool.
Yeah, so we did kind of a quick round robin after, like Dawn said, spending most of our time on intros, and some of the things that came up, and we were all just repeatedly like, yes, yes, yes. It was a lot of the usual stuff. So working with clients who are reluctant to spend time on analysis because they just want to focus on solutions, and preferably solutions that are fast and convenient. And then along with that, the other thing we focused on was not only clients, but especially working with others in learning and development who aren't aware of the evidence-based practices and haven't adopted those practices, and how sometimes that can really undermine those of us who, the work of those of us who are trying to spend time on analysis and are trying to deploy the evidence-based practices, because they're more willing to come to the table with the quick, cheap, and convenient solution. But of course, it's likely to lack the impact. So we focused on those types of things.
Great. Great. Thanks, Shelley. And rather than having everyone yell it out all at once, are there any scenarios that were not represented in Shelley's sharing that you want to pose that we should be aware of, that we might want to address throughout the 6 weeks? And as you're thinking, here's the deal. Because we're such a small group, we're around 70 people. So this is hopefully by the end of 6 weeks, we really get to not only know each other, but we get to really start to rely on each other, learn from each other, as well as the faculty. And if you have a scenario that comes up, bring it to the floor, bring it to the forum. Dawn, you're strangely a participant and not on the faculty, but Dawn is one of the people I would turn to all the time for insights. we have a community here amongst the 70 of us who are brilliant people. Scott Parker, if you ever want to know anything about technology, just call Scott. He'll know. He knows everything. And so let's leverage the wisdom of the people here, because we have great people in this room. And if you ever want critical thinking, call Rick. So he'll tear apart anything in a good way. So, all right, moving to then group 3. Who was in charge of group 3?
I was. And I was
Oh.
also nominated unilaterally to speak up. I guess we have a couple people that are a bit shy, but it was such an amazing group coming from all over the world. You know, we had one person from Belgium, one from Indonesia, the last one from Turkey. And from what I remember 2 years ago, that's more country than we used to have. So it was really awesome. And, you know, coming from different L&D places and roles, I found that we all had one thing in common. We wanted to learn more and build on what we already had, whether it was theoretical or practical. So understanding 2 of us are actually coming into new roles, and we want to understand more how the world of L&D works within those roles and how we can apply what we'll learn here to our practices. Another one has researched a lot about theory and read a lot and wants to put that to practice. So how to turn theory into practical usage. And finally, I had another thing in common with our third one, who wanted to learn more from what they had learned in the previous LD conference that they participated in and all the reading they had done in the meantime. So it's a lot of, you know, build on what we already have and exchange on that and learn from experts in the field.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Claire. And so I'm been privileged to get to work with Miriam and Paul on the complex learning workshop. And as I've been doing it, I presented to them some content we're going to use on feedback skills. We're going to use a case method around management development and feedback. And Miriam took all of the stuff I gave her and she read it all. She even wrote a summary page for you all, a 6-page summary of the content to streamline it for you. And then she shot me a note and said, and I assume you have references for all of this. Can you send them over to me? And I love that. Just the habitual instinct to ask for the resources and references is great. So thank you, Claire. Are there any other objectives or outcomes you want from this conference that were not represented? At any time you can shoot us anything you want and we'll find a way to make it happen, or we'll convince Andrew to do it. All right.
The one thing I think that we touched on, but we kind of would be interesting to kind of extend to is just kind of better aligning L&D, our function within kind of the business outcomes. And I think that's a common thing, but just being able to bridge that gap between, I think sometimes even in terms of the language we use with that, and just how do we better align the business outcomes? Like how do we keep in mind those business outcomes, knowing what we know about business organizations and or whatever the organization's goals are, and how can we translate that into better L&D solutions as well? And I think we touched upon that, but it'd be interesting to extend it to that as well.
So there's a couple CFOs we know. One we brought into the conference last year, but the one I'm thinking of is a guy from the EU. He just retired as CFO for a 10,000 person firm. Would it be helpful to have him come in and do a mini 1-hour Q&A on how does the business think about L&D and how they make decisions about whether to fund us or what questions we should preemptively answer? Would you like that? If I can make that happen? Okay, I'll see if I can get that scheduled. So we'll do that. That brings us to our last group, and you have 2 minutes. Who is it?
All right, it's me. I'll go really quick. So while all the other groups had people from all over the world, our group all had some connection to Madison, Wisconsin. I currently live here. Mark grew up in Madison. Stephanie went to school here, and Rich had gone to a couple conferences in Madison.
Wow.
So we had a similar connection there, but we were talking about the sessions we were most excited about. And we all kind of said we hadn't really dove deep into what all of the sessions are going to entail, but knowing who the speakers are and our faculty, we know we're going to get just really good insight, and especially being among everyone. But a couple of the sessions that were mentioned were Will's around evaluation, Stella's around analytics, and then Miriam, Paul, and Matt, your session around the complex learning. Those were a couple that got mentioned.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And Laura, pleasure to meet you. And no worries, this is recorded. And if you're in Oklahoma, if you want to just stay up till midnight, we will repeat it.
No, I won't stay up till midnight.
No
But,
worries.
no, I'm sorry I was late. I got bogged down in a training meeting. So
Not a problem.
it's
Not
exciting.
a problem at all. Well, folks, are there any other courses you're excited about? Actually, you should be excited about them all. So
Yeah, everyone.
good answer. Good answer. Well, we are at the time, and I know in LDA people start to drop off at this moment. So I want to just get in some final quick words. We are here to serve. And so, well, we're going to screw up. We're going to make mistakes. As I think I was talking to Deb, and I shared with her, this is a brand new format. We've never done it before. And we're learning as we go. We are truly living Tiagi's view of building the airplane while we fly it. So we will screw up, make mistakes, but we'll do our best to remedy them. And we want to make sure that you have the best conference experience possible. I say that like a European, not an American. I mean the best, truly, absolute best. So we'll do our best. Clark is traveling, so you'll see a ton of him as soon as he gets back next week. But we'll hang out here to answer any final questions you have offline, but do reach out to us if you need anything. So I'll stop the recording and we'll go more informal. Take care, everyone.